The situation with Angel Reese is just a complete mess. She came out and just threw the entire team under the bus. Executives around the WNBA are shocked by this. They characterize it as an unprecedented move. For me, when I look at the situation with the Sky, last year you had Kennedy Carter, you had Marina Mabrey on this roster. They're no longer with the team. You have Vandersloot, and they're still just as bad. And you got Eric Atkins for experience. And the Sky are just not good. And yes, Angel Reese is playing better basketball. She's shooting much better from the field. She struggled to start the season. She was terrible. But right now, she's better. And the biggest conversation when it comes to Angel Reese is, can she be a reliable number one option? Can that result in winning basketball? I think if I'm the Chicago Sky going into the offseason, I'm looking at upgrading my guard position because, I would keep Eric Atkins, but maybe Vandersloot has to go. She's 36 years old, not a bad player, but maybe get a younger guard, and then figure out, are you going to build around Cardoso and Angel Reese? Because the net rating is not that good. Look, they both impact big women, and they can go out there and score, rebound the basketball. However, at the same time, I think they're not a good fit together. I think it'd be better if Cardoso goes somewhere else or Angel Reese goes somewhere else. And I know they've been tinkering with Angel Reese's play style where they're having her bring up the ball up, but I think eventually defense is going to be like, okay, I'm going to get a versatile wing or guard to force Angel Reese to get past me and prove to me that she can handle the rock and not turn the ball over and get her making quicker decisions with her playmaking. And if that results in turnovers, now that strategy of bringing, Angel Reese bringing the ball up the court isn't going to be as effective. So I'm curious to see if defenses in the future are going to make those adjustments. And will Angel Reese be just as effective in the future when it comes to bringing the ball up the court, doing the playmaking, or driving the ball downhill? I don't know. We'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, this article is just crazy. Talking about two-time WNBA champion Courtney Vandersloot, Angel Reese said the team needs something a little younger and willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. Here's the thing. Next year, she's out of excuses because if the Sky go into this offseason, make the proper adjustments and upgrade this roster with a better point guard, because I think they need better playmaking, and you add a scoring guard like they had with Kennedy Carter, and the result is still 10-30 next year, or they're not even close to the playoffs, then we're going to have those same conversations about, look, Angel Reese, she can rebound the basketball, she can score in the post, but it's not resulting in winning. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Like, we've seen players in the past, like Allen Iverson had Eric Snow and Dikembe Mutombo as his, you could argue, their second and third options, or Aaron McKee, and it wasn't consistent. Allen Iverson was carrying that roster to playoff runs. LeBron James had one of the worst rosters in the NBA and got them to the NBA Finals in 2007, 2008. So it's like, what are we doing here? It was just 2006, 2007. One of those years, LeBron just had a really bad roster, and he got them to the finals, and he wasn't even a great jump shooter at the time. So we have seen players in the past take their roster to playoff runs, whether it's making the finals or not, they still can elevate their teammates. So throwing them under the bus like this, I don't think it's a great move. I would go to the front office in private and talk about my grievances, talk about my concerns with this roster. Don't call them all out. I understand that moving off Marina Mabrey wasn't a great move. I don't think they should have done that. And I understand she's frustrated, but again, you have to be careful with how you handle yourself, because at the end of the day, you're still a young player. Like, it's going to take time to build out a roster. You don't just win overnight. It doesn't happen with every single up and coming star player. And I know you say here, I like to be here for my career, but if things don't pan out, obviously I might have to move in a different direction, do what's best for me. Reese told the Chicago Tribune, but while I'm here, I'm going to try to stay open-minded about what I have here and maximize that as much as I can. Okay, good. So next year, maximize what you have in your roster. Like, if you go out there and you're winning 13 games next year and you're not even in the playoff picture, then what are we doing? We're just wasting time. Not to say Angel Reese isn't talented, not to say she, can't play basketball, but, when Candace Parker says you're not a number one option, there's a reason why you're at that specific tier level, because other players have proven, like a Caitlin Clark, like a Sabrina Ionescu, like a Asia Wilson, like a Candace Parker, they can go out and take a roster and carry them to the playoffs. Like, look at Asia Wilson, what they're doing with the Aces. They lost Kelsey Plum this offseason, and they are the second seed in the WNBA right now. They're on fire right now. They've been playing some really good basketball. And again, I'm sorry, the third seed. My mistake there. You get what I'm saying, though. Asia Wilson is elevating that team. And if you want to be in those conversations with those type of players, you got to go out and win basketball games. Eventually, we're going to have to put you in a specific category and keep you there. So I understand the frustrations with the roster, but obviously Vandersloot tore her ACL 7 games in the regular season, and maybe you do need somebody younger. Look, I'm not saying Vandersloot is a scrub. She's not. She has experience. She, is a two-time WNBA champion, seven-time assist leader. And she was supposed to be the one, running the show as the point guard. But maybe you got to consider somebody else. I think Rachel Benham's a good shooter. I think she's able to, help spread the floor. Eric Atkins, another player who has experience as a, WNBA champion. So the roster's not terrible by any means necessary. But again, like, you have to learn, look, it's not always going to go your way. Injuries are going to happen, unfortunately. Vandersloot was supposed to play obviously longer than 7 games, but this happens. You're going to lose key players at times. So calling out specific teammates by name, and I don't like that. You can't say we need great players. Work with what you got. I'm not saying the Sky have to win a championship or be a contender this year, but you've only won 10 games. What are we doing here? There's no excuse for that. Come on, if you want to be in those same conversations as these top players in WNBA, you got to learn to impact winning. And if you're not doing that next year, let's say Vandersloot is back, she's healthier, Eric Atkins is back, and let's just say they add another guard as a playmaker, and they come back and you get the same result, what's the excuse going to be for Angel Reese? Eventually, we got to have proper conversation. Look, she's solid, but she's more of like a second, third option on a championship level team. That's fine. Certain players are put in certain categories. It's just how it works. And again, I'm not against you holding the organization accountable for how things have happened with this season. I'm not against that and how the roster is built out. But saying things like the team needs to be overhauled this offseason around just 2 solidified pieces. I don't think Cardoso and Reese are the answer. The net rating isn't great. It's not resulting in winning basketball. I think you need to consider maybe moving off Cardoso or Angel Reese, because it seems like she's frustrated and doesn't want to be here in the future if things aren't working out. So it's definitely a dire situation for the Chicago Sky. But again, I'm not against you holding the organization accountable, but just doing it publicly like this, not a great look. I understand it's been a frustrating season and you want to be competitive, and that's fine. I get that. But do it behind closed doors. Focus on what needs to get better. Because again, you had a pretty good roster, like Kennedy Carter, Marina Mabry. Moving off Mabry didn't make any sense. I understand her desire to move off and play for a championship level team, and she got her wish. And I know the Sun didn't win it, but she was on a much better team last year when she moved off the Sky. But for next season, no excuse for injuries. Like, she's got to be better, and don't start out slow. Don't have a slow start where you're shooting poorly from the field. Go out there and win. And even if you get to like 20 wins and you're getting close to the 8th seed, or you say you get to that spot, awesome. That's all we're asking for as fans. Is like, you can be this person where you're trying to put yourself in certain conversations, but if it's not resulting in winning and you have a better roster, then we have to make sure we're having these proper conversations about who they are as a player and what's their ceiling. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts about Angel Reese coming out and throwing her team under the bus in the organization, criticizing them. Do you agree with the approach? Do you disagree with the approach? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.